Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 375. Today is Saturday, June 26, 2021, and I'm glad you could join me today. It is another foggy day, but it looks like the light is a little bit better. It was, what would it be? I had a couple of video calls this morning. I don't know, busy. It's been a busy Saturday so far. And I looked super mega white with whatever the sunlight coming in through the window, but it's okay. It's not like it's a big deal. I'm also laughing a little bit because like this is like the last size small t-shirt in my drawer. So I think I finally got to the bottom of it all. Would it be, which means that after it all gets washed, then I have to carefully go through my pile of t-shirts and do the purge. I think I've been talking about this for weeks now. Have I done it? Not yet. Oh well, it'll be okay. And what would it be? One of those video calls was actually a Tour de Fleece Zoom spin kickoff, so that was a lot of fun. I'm only participating with one team, and we don't even participate in like the big formal brouhaha. But I like the themes that they end up coming up with, so it works out just fine. So that I ended up waking up at 8:45 to participate in that. So I now have second coffee. Would it be? Had another video call, which was entertaining. Made brunch, and then actually scurried down to Pacifica to knit with the Half Moon Bay Knitters. So a lot of good stuff going on. And what's nice is that Pacifica is like only like a 20-minute drive away. It's like 9 miles. So I have no clue what the Jersey local one is doing, but it involves power tools. I don't know why he's taken out power tools, because I thought he was going to change water in his fish tank. Whatever. So it is super duper nice to be able to go down. It's pretty easy to pop in. It's not as much of an event as like going to Berkeley can be sometimes. So you don't have to cross water. It just makes life easier. And actually, I'm in the middle of a row right now, so I'll just finish that on screen. My Delancey cardigan is draped on the chair next to me because I was thinking about wearing it and then forgot and then decided it would be perfectly good background. I did end up wearing it when I was down in Pacifica because it is whatever. Definitely foggy down there. Or would it be? Like like the Royal Bee is like a block away from the Pacific Ocean. Hence Pacifica. And I have successfully navigated the complicated part of the row, so it's all easy from here on out. So I'm doing the pattern establishment row, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, I didn't want to go that way. Would be, so with this pattern, like it is, like roughly speaking, like a 10-row pattern. Is that 10? Yeah, something like that. And so what ends up happening is you have sort of a row in which you're establishing the pattern, you have a row which you continue the pattern, you have a row which sort of closes off the pattern, and then you have like a rest one in there. And so this adds up to like 20 total rows, but it's sort of 5 right side rows in order to get there. So I am in the process of getting the leaf reestablished in the field, so to speak. So it should be pretty quick. This project isn't super huge, so at this point, the rows aren't too long. It's not too terrible to do or to finish half around on the air. Though this is one of the more complicated. This is the second most complicated row. But that's okay. So that was the correct knitting maneuver. So I am knitting the Sizzle Pop, which is a Leslie Ann Robinson pattern. And the Sizzle Pop pattern comes with two shapes in the pattern. So I have knit the triangle shape twice now. But this is the first, or technically, or whatever. I started my first Sizzle Pop as a square shape. Realized that it was not working up the way I thought it would. I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking, but once I sort of understood how the shawl was being built, I knew that I wasn't going to have enough yarn with that first yarn I had selected, or that first pair of yarns that I had selected to knit the pattern in. So then I switched to doing a triangle one, and then I made a triangle for myself using lace weight yarn last year, and now I am knitting the square version of the shawl and with a very sizable quantity of Wollmeise DK. So this is Wollmeise DK that I got to knit my little gray cardigan, but I ended up buying the brown color of mouse instead of the gray mouse that I wanted. Alas. And nobody wanted to buy brown yarn when you could buy it easily off of the website. So I decided to overdye it with Kool-Aid. And this was something that I ended up doing in my apartment in Dallas when I first moved there like 7 years ago. Hey ho. And it still smells like Kool-Aid today. So, and I was intending to dye it a teal color, for which you can see teal specks in here, but then I accidentally bought black cherry Kool-Aid while I was talking to my mom. Thus, we have this burgundy color with teal bits in it. Yeah, you can sort of see the teal in here too. So, Wollmeise DK is a very round, plump yarn. It looks gorgioso in the brioche. Really happy with how it's working up. The pattern calls for 2-color brioche, but I have discovered from knitting this pattern obsessively that I've memorized it, that 1-color brioche is also a lot of fun with this pattern as well. So you can maybe see the little bit of the tricky bit that I was dealing with here. So the border of the pattern ends up being down like the center spine of this. And so you just have to be a little bit careful there to make sure that the leaves are budding out of the spine appropriately. And it's not like this is super big at this point. I still feel like I have a lot of this yarn left to go, but I've definitely depleted the ball. I have 440 more grams that I could knit into this if I felt like it. So we'll see how big I decide to make this in the end. But I am enjoying myself. It is my more thinking sort of project to do. So even though, or would it be, it's like it takes a little bit more attention to work on it than my other knitting project. But this, or would it be, and if we look at how far I ended up coming this week, I basically did a little bit more than a repeat this week. Maybe close, might actually even be close to 2 repeats on this, if I look at it. So not too shabby. Uh-oh. Sorry, had to take a moment and make sure the video was still working. So yeah, no, so I've probably done about 2 repeats on it this week, so you can sort of see 2 leaves forming there, so that looks about right. And I think what I'll do, if it is available, I guess maybe it's not. I did have a little locking stage marker here so I could leapfrog, but now that is missing. It's not like it's a big deal. So, as you can tell by the repeat knits, this is definitely a pattern that I enjoy. So, not too crazy there. Definitely enjoying the one color brioche on this. The pattern is written for 2 color, but I think it looks, or would it be, with this like tightly twisted many plies yarn, like this stitch definition is just so good, so good. So I'm really happy that I did find a good purpose for this, and it's going to be very snuggly when it is done. But also, I'm also cognizant of the fact that this project is probably the furthest from completion as well. In terms of stash dash updates, let me pull up the sheet because I did have a chance to actually, it turned out that my V-neck boxy wasn't more than 400 grams. Very exciting. So I was able to weigh it on my gram scale. And so that ended up, or so what I ended up doing was I took the weight of the yarn. I had written down, or would it be? So it'd be the case where I found the weight of all of the yarn together. I had sort of the yards per gram of, I had the yards per gram of each of the yarns that I used. So it was about, the mohair lace was about half of the, or maybe actually a little bit more than half of the merino cashmere silk that I was using. And so what I ended up doing to figure out the weight is I would write down a yardage, I would multiply that grist by it, and then just keep increasing the yardage until I got to the weight of yarn I had weighed. So I figured that was a good way to estimate. So that turned out to be 3,577.2 yards, which is 3,302 meters, which was 22% of the weight of 15K. And it brought my totals up to 1,473, or 14,735.9 meters. So I am just a little, whatever, 200 and change away from being at 15K at this point. So the first project that I finish will take me over the edge for that. So that's exciting. And definitely opportunities to get a lot more yardage, but that sort of hits my personal goal of making it to 15K. And in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm not feeling mega competitive this summer. Like, I'm gonna use it as some time to just get some focused work done on various works in progress, but I am not going to be like, well, if I made 15K that fast, why am I not doing 30? Be like, no, don't do it. Bad idea. And in terms of my What the Fade progress, the Affinifade, the shawl of endurance. So I have finished a row on this, and it is, as you can tell, pretty monstrous already. And I have plans to do 3 more blocks beyond what I've done so far, and blue side, not too shabby. So What the Fade is an Andrea Mowry pattern, and she instructs you to switch to garter, and I ignored her. So I am continuing to work Brioche Fade, and it's a little lame, but whatever, such is life. I am very much so enjoying my 4-color sections of it, and I'm almost done with the 4-color section now. So not too shabby. I have like 1 or 2 more passes that I need to do, and then I'll be done with that sections. Yeah. So after I get the next pass will be the next color, and so I think I've worked all of the, you know, there might be one more increase with this. Yeah, I know, I might have one more increase past this, I think. It's like sort of hard to read. Yeah. We'll figure it out. It shouldn't be too crazy. So I'm knitting this out of Stranded Dye Works Merino Singles in the Ice Skating Party Naive Watercolor and Blue Rinse. And then we've got Firecracker, Orange Tabby, and Patisserie. So not too crazy there. Very pretty. Really going to enjoy the finished object for sure. Definitely quite a lot of yarn use. So it'll be another row or 2 of this, and then I can take a pause on this for a bit, weigh it, make sure my plan is still good in terms of yarn usage. I don't anticipate that it'll be wrong, but definitely hollowing these guys out. So I will be using a pretty good portion of the yarn. And then it might be the case where I end up deciding whether or not I want to, what I want to do from there. Probably I should stop. So I did actually get quite a bit of progress done on it too. Let's figure out, where did the marker go? Where did the marker go? Oh wait, because that's the beginning of the shawl, not the end. Okay. Where did the marker go? Okay. So there's my little dangle. So I was in the 4-color section last week, and I'm still in the 4-color section. But I'm almost done with the 4-color section, and we'll be back to 2 again. So we'll be back to Orange Tabby and Naive Watercolor again pretty soon. So I did at least 12 or so rounds on it this week, so not too shabby. For some reason, I think it doesn't feel like a lot of knitting progress this week, but it might just be that this shawl soaks up lots and lots of knitting. But maybe there was just less knitting progress this week because there were less meetings to attend and more chances to be in person at work, so oh well, shouldn't be too crazy. But I brought it with me to the Royal Bee, but I did not work on it at the Royal Bee. Because I've actually managed to do, I think, a little bit more spinning this week, which is lovely. And makes sense, too. So, great big monstrous shawl, almost have another block done. You can, yeah, I'm guessing I might have another increase row to go, I think. Whatever. I will be into 2 colors next week, I'm pretty sure, unless I go on a total spinning bender. try to mix it up a little bit. I was trying to mix it up today too, so not too crazy. But most of the attention has been spinning attention, especially because today was the kickoff for Tour de Fleece. I had already started my Tour de Fleece project because I didn't want to start a new spinning whip. I was excited about the things that I had planned for Tour de Fleece, so I started one of them early, which is sort of my sunset spin. So what I did was I had 6 ounces of alpaca, I had 4 ounces, or merino alpaca, I had 4 ounces of polar silk. I split them into 20 pieces and made 10 1-ounce bats that are 60% merino alpaca, 40% polar silk. And the project has been turning out really well for me. So I have 6 of these balls, but one of them is a partial, whichever one is the small one. Here's the small one. It also has leaves on it because it dropped out of my spinning wheel as I was leaving the railbee. And it is more pink in real life because we know my webcam doesn't like the pinks and purples, but whatever. This makes it look like it's more my usual colors, and it's a little bit more challenging than that. Not like a ton. But I did bring my spinning wheel out into the world. I figured a local yarn shop was going to be a good way to do that. So I have a reasonably full bobbin at this point. I selected my jumbo bobbin because it should be able to hold all 10 ounces on it. And the plan is to 2-ply eventually. And what I'll have to do that is wind it off with my ball winder and then pull from both ends from the cake when the time comes. But for now, I'm just focusing on the singles. The singles are very pretty, and I don't know, you're not at an angle such that you can, I don't think you're close enough to it that you can really see the orange in there, but the orange is sort of the challenge color for me in this. And would it be the case where the thought process is spinning these wild yarns, playing with the color, playing with how to bring a secondary color, big hue contrast into the spin, to sort of give it a little bit more dimension, but not have it be, excuse me, overwhelming either, as you do. So I think I did really good on this. So this, excuse me, really liking where this is going. It's probably more purple than I would usually select for myself. Part of this was that both of the fibers were, would be, one of them was a prize, but merino alpaca was a prize, and then the polar silk was something that my mother-in-law ended up getting me. So I might have, like, would it be all by its lonesome, the polar silk was probably more my colors than the merino alpaca was, but hey, would it be? It is spinning up very lovely. It is acting an awful lot like the alpaca it is. But that's making it texturally fun to spin, so I am okay with that. And then the other thing is that it's randomizing me. I am not really in control of what color is coming at any point. I can somewhat control with drafting, and I'm just trying to draft to maximize moral. So I am excited to see where this goes. Excited to knit with the yarn because I'd like to do a sweater spin with yarn like this. So I'm trying to practice the technique on smaller projects until I feel confident that I can create the yarn I want to create that way. Because I know my dyeing skills are not such where I can create color visions in the dye pot, but I do know I can create color visions on my drum carder. So would it be? So I am practicing that because I'm a little bit better at it. As you do. And it's not that I can't create colors that I don't or whatever. Like this blurple color that I managed to create in the dye pot, like, was a very, like, this doesn't, like, this looks totally like blues and greens here, but I swear there's some pink in here. So I am able to create, or like I know how to create certain colors. I know how to create certain sort of colors in a dye pot situation, but I feel like I'm creating those really complex colors that I like by carting my way to victory. It sounds like the pump's going full tilt now. So these nests here are going to be the next spinning project that I start, and specifically a spindle project. I still haven't decided if I'm doing it supported or if I'm going to do it supported or if I'm going to do it with my Turkish spindles. It may be the case, or would be. There's definitely like a certain convenience factor going on if I did it on my Turkish spindles, because then at the end I would have my 17 turtles at the end and I could decide how to apply them in whatever order that I wished. So I think I'm leaning that way. I definitely do want to have another opportunity to work on a supported spindle project. Also, there is my own personal impatience with doing 50% of a spinning project and then getting 50% of a spindle project and then getting sort of angry with it, finishing the other half on the wheel and then playing it all together. There's that too. Know thyself. But what's going to end up happening is, so I have this in this bin right now, but some point soon I will be transferring this to bags. And maybe maybe I'm wild and free and I spin some of it supported, some of it Turkish, mix it all up, who knows. But yeah, no, it'd be the case where it's been a while since I've done a supported project and I would like to continue practicing that. I picked a very interesting wool as my first supported project, so it might be the case where a drafting together project might be inappropriate for supported, for me being a little bit more of a supported spindle newbie. What would it be? Or my first supported spindle project was something which the quantity wasn't big, the wool was certainly very sticky, because it was a down breed. But then also appropriate for a supported spindle just because, would it be? It was an experience that I did want to have with the feel of the spindle, just because it was drafting so much differently than other types of wools that are commonly available. So, as you do. So I'm not sure which way I will break. But would it be? I was waiting until the start of Mars's spindle, but I may need to circle back around and make sure she ended up posting some more information for that too. And that may end up being a carry around project if other things end up getting too big and bulky, or I start it because I don't want to lug my wheel with me to Berkeley tomorrow. Who knows? So the wheel fits very nicely in the trunk of the Miata with the regular sized flyer on it. It does not fit as beautifully with the jumbo flyer on it. And I didn't know this because I never take my wheel out of the house when I'm plying, and I use the jumbo primarily for plying. This was a special case in which I didn't want to break up the fiber into too many pieces. So a Lendrum bobbin, I can make it hold 4 ounces in an extreme situation. I think I have made it as much as 5 on a single Lendrum bobbin, but I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to pull that off for the 2-ply yarn I'm making right here. So I decided to just spin all the singles end to end on the jumbo, but there are minuses to that. So the jumbo flyer is bigger and bulkier, and so I am not able to treadle with one foot with the jumbo flyer on, or not treadle with one foot and still draft nicely. I think I'm able to treadle adequately to ply, but not to spin. It's a little chunkier. So I have to have both feet going when I'm treadling with the jumbo on, and it would be, I think I've been maybe like a little sore as of late, and so sometimes it's nice to be able to spin with one foot and stretch the other leg, like laying on top like this or something like that. Oh, well, so I can't do that. If I want to be stretching and crafting, it has to be knitting until I get this jumbo flyer project off. And it's not like I'm going to be too far away. I'm in the 5th ball of 10. So I'm almost halfway done with the singles already. So not too crazy there. And no new knitting projects have tempted me yet. What would it be? I have been settled and happy in my brioche life decisions this week in a way I wasn't last week. It's okay. Though likely the next project start will end up being my Fog City hat. I find that to be pretty likely, so that will just be a little palette cleanser project before launching into other things. And the next thing on the horizon, which actually started on Friday, is they're repeating the Bay Area Fiber Fair this summer. The dates are a little bit different, but that's fine. But if you're in the United States, you're welcome to participate. They won't send prizes international, so sorry. But basically it is a contest. They have prompts. It all takes place on Instagram. And so what you end up doing is tagging yourself and makers and patterns that you end up using for all of the various projects you finish during the term. And so there's a variety of different categories, and you can post multiple pictures with a different, or whatever, you can post like a single project that counts for multiple categories. You just keep posting it. Like personally, I would change up the photo a little bit, but it was like 1 photo per entry sort of dealio. I didn't end up winning any prizes last year, but it was fun to participate. So that was lovely. The other thing coming up, which I've been debating about, is so my Friday night spinning group is run by Cheryl, the 1764 Shepherdess. And she has a big summer event that happens the last week of July. I will be in the land of no internet the last week of July, so like I can't really participate, but I think her fiber's pretty. So I might buy a pack, but it's the case where you end up buying a pack. There depends on the fiber like price, but it's like in like the $40 range. And what you end up getting with your purchase is, what would it be, like 2 days of retreat-like spinning experience, all virtual. There's a bunch of different sponsors and interviewers that she's lined up this year. There is a spinning and knitting competition that occurs. You end up getting 4 ounces of fiber, a bag, all this other cool stuff you can see if you're interested, because it would be whatever, camp spin 15 and 21, I believe is the hashtag if you want to look and see what's going on. So I'm debating if I want to purchase one, even though I can't actually participate in the event. So, what would it be? And like part of this is, would it be like wanting to be able to support a friend, because this is one of the big events that she ends up putting on every year. So if you're a spinner, I encourage you to check it out, and I can point you to more specific locations on the internet, if you want to know more. But I do think the group is a hoot, so so I'm debating if I want to do that or not. I ended up joining at the last minute last year, and I had a lot of fun participating. It's a, or would it be the case where I know there will be no internet? So, as you do. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of what would it be. Those are the primary things that I'm thinking about right now. Putting together a successful Tour de Fleece, or would it be, so we have C'est Francais, we have our, what is it, Allez-vous, and I haven't prepped the fiber for Le Grand Bête. I may or may not actually even get to it, but whatever, it'll be fine. It's probably just like another opportunity with which to practice, making these marled yarns in this way for my eventual fleece spin. So, fleece up there. That will also involve pulling out dyes and stuff like that, so whatever, working out the details slowly but surely. Not a high priority thing, but just sort of a low burn creativity project going on. But at the rate I'm going, the next project I will finish will be a spinning project. That's fine. So yeah, that is the excitement around here. What it be? Things are looking good for being able to record next week as well. And actually, I will be super well rested. Yeah, so my company has decided to make 4th of July weekend a 5-day weekend. So pretty much getting the first 5 days in July off. So I'm hoping to get quite a bit of progress done on things, and sleeping in. Very important, the sleeping in. Oh well, it's okay. But yeah, no, it's just gonna be a little staycation for me. The Deer Level 1 does not have as ridiculous a vacation policy as I, so that's fine. As an introvert, I am perfectly okay with some serious staycation action. Not working is lovely. I relish my opportunity to not work, or my opportunities not to work, but still get paid. I hope you guys do the same. So there may be more of the same of knitting in Pacifica on Saturdays. Because like at this point we're on a bit of a run. This is the 3rd weekend I've been down there. Gonna be a 4th weekend. It will be a-okay. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And then I'm hearing rumblings in the kitchen, so that probably means the Deer Level 1 is hungry, and I might actually need to conjure food. There may be some broth making, so I can make room in the freezer for future food. We shall see. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look look forward to talking to you guys next week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.